What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxer coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Romero, and Ku Klux Garcia in the news. Man, oh man. So it looks like they're going to be fighting for the secondary WBA title at 147 pounds. Now, I'm kind of just as confused as anybody else would be, seeing how it's like, bro, like I just don't understand what's going on and why this fight deserves a title. But you know, it is what it is, man. Both fighters will be fighting in May, which seems to be a stacked card. You got Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, which is actually a very tough fight coming off of, you know, the last fight that Devin Haney had with Ryan Garcia, fighting Jose Ramirez. That's a tough fight, man. So shout out to Devin Haney for even taking that or whatnot. Just a stacked card or whatnot, you know. So let me go ahead and get into it, man. Rolly is a funny dude, though. I was looking at his interview. He was talking about, like, Rolly is just like a really funny guy. Like, Rolly reminds me of that guy. Have you ever had that guy that's kind of like slow and like, you know, like you seen somebody roast him, like he's getting roasted at school, and he's just he just sits there and looks at him with a smile on his face. Like, that's what Rolly reminds me of, bro. Rolly reminds me of that kid that's not like slow, but just ain't got it all, and he like just getting roasted, and he just sit there looking at him with a smile on his face, just looking at him like he's not really just processing anything that's being brought to him, but he's looking at him just looking at that. That's what Rolly reminds me of, man. I remember when him and Shakur was going back and forth. It was him, Shakur in Africa, and they was going back and forth on Instagram Live. And Rolly told Shakur, like, shut your ass up. You know how Rolly be talking, shut your ass up. And Shakur was like, shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. All right, man, let's get into the article. All right, so shout out to Boxing News 24 says Ku Klux Garcia versus Rolly Romero, WBA 147-pound title at stake. It says Ku Klux Garcia headliner fight against Rolly Romero will have the WBA regular title on the line for their headliner on Turkey Al-Sheikh's card made at Times Square. Neither fighter is ranked in the WBA's top 15 at 147 or by any other three other sanctioned organizations as well. Former WBA light welterweight champion Rolly, who is 29, is ranked number 8 at 140, but not at 147. That is crazy. I could have sworn the WBA was trying to get rid of the regular title. So what are they bringing it back now? Like, this is why boxing is like just a joke, man. Fans feel like there shouldn't be a belt at stake for the fight because Ryan is coming off of a 1-year suspension for being popped for a PED last April. Going from a suspension straight to a world title shot looks bad. Right, because it's like you're rewarding him now. You rewarding this dude for testing positive for a banned substance. Y'all are rewarding this dude for going on these racist rants, disrespecting George Floyd, calling people the N-words and all this type of stuff. Y'all are now y'all rewarding him with this great value belt. Man, get the freak out of here with that, bro. I can't, oh my gosh. I don't know what to say about that. Having Rolly fight for a title makes it look even worse. I think Rolly, his last fight wasn't a loss, right? I think his last fight was on the undercard of Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora, if I'm not mistaken. It's unclear what the World Boxing Association rationale is to have their regular title up for grabs for Garcia versus Romero clash. Still, it makes sense in terms of publicity to have it being fought for by these two. Having the WBA secondary belt being fought for will validate the Ryan Rolly fight in the eyes of some fans. It would look better if the fight were an eliminator for the belt rather than giving it a title. Given that neither guy has fought, with the way that things are now, it shapes the fight to have a title on the line that Garcia and Romero don't. Damn, I hate when it does that. Don't deserve to be fighting for. Rolly was knocked out in the 8th round last year by Isaac Cruz in March 30th, and is coming off of an unimpressive 10-round decision against second-tier fighter Manuel James on September 14th. Oh, September 14th. Was it September 14th? Okay, so did he? Hold on. Did he fight Isaac Cruz on the undercard of Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora then? I gotta look that up. I'm not so sure about that. But anyways, Fancy Romero as a low-level fighter. His WBA 140-pound title win over Ishmael Barraza in 2023 was one of the most controversial matches I've ever seen. Or you must have not watched boxing if that was one of the most controversial. I mean, I felt like the fight should not have been stopped when it was stopped, but I've seen a lot worse. That fight was creepy looking. Rolly threw 5 punches, all missing, and the ref. Damn, I really hate when they do this. My bad, y'all. It'll like have these pop-ups coming up while I'm reading. Rolly threw 5 punches, all missing, and the ref stepped in and stopped the fight, giving him a 9th round knockout over Barraza. It looked wrong in Rolly's first defense at the WBA belt. He was blown out of the water by Pitbull Cruz. Romero is more like a comedian than a boxer. He's never beaten anyone without good controversy. His controversial win over Barraza and Jackson Marinas, he really lost that fight, were disturbing because he deserved defeats in both fights. All right, let's talk about it. So, I mean, I don't know. I think this is going to be an interesting fight. These two have history. If you haven't seen them spar, they actually sparred each other. And I didn't know this until I looked at Rolly's interview that was his second time sparring Ku Klux Garcia. So you know, they have history. They have, I don't want to say bad blood. It ain't bad blood like how Rolly has with Devin Haney and Shakur, and well, he don't really have bad blood with Tank anymore. They kind of squashed their issue or whatnot, but it's not bad blood like that. But you know, they do have a little history. I don't know, but you know, they might turn it up for the fight at the press conference whenever that'll be. But they do have history. I felt like Rolly had got the better of Ku Klux Garcia in the sparring session. Like he was really catching Ku Klux Garcia with some flush shots. And like I said, apparently that wasn't his first time whooping up on Ku Klux Garcia. So you know, I think that's I don't know. I just think that both of their styles make for an interesting matchup. Both of them are not the best when it comes to defense. So I feel like fights like this will definitely end in a knockout because you have two fighters who have power but don't have the best defense. Ku Klux Garcia has better fundamentals than Rolly, but you know, Rolly is heavy-handed, very awkward. Who knows, man? I mean, it's an interesting matchup that I'll be interested in seeing. And then obviously, should Devin Haney and Ku Klux Garcia win, then they would have a rematch later on this year or whatnot. But you know, it's an interesting matchup, man. I'm interested in seeing what happens. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm not gonna buy it. I want to support Devin Haney, but I don't want to put any money in the pockets of somebody that, you know, just like blatantly use racial terms against my people. I'm not with that, so I'm not gonna buy the fight, but I am gonna watch it. And it sucks because I would really want to support Devin Haney, but it is what it is. Man, but listen, I think this is gonna be an interesting matchup. I just don't feel like this fight should be for a title. It makes absolute no sense. I could have sworn the WBA was trying to consolidate all their regular titles and, you know, official titles, and now they're doing this. Who doesn't Emmanuel or Imantas Stanionis have the WBA super title? I guess now I have to say at 147 because he's gonna unify it with Jerron Ennis. So I don't know. I don't really know what is going on in the minds of the WBA. I guess they're trying to follow the footsteps of the WBC and try to just put a title on anything to make money or whatever. But whatever, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Who do you see winning this fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you see winning this fight? How do you see him winning? And what do you want to see from the winner? But what do I know?